Teachers, what's the craziest rumor you've heard about a student that turned out to be true? I was teaching 3rd grade at Washington Elementary when Marcus Williams started falling asleep in class. It began in late September, about 3 weeks into the school year. He'd be fine during morning assembly, alert and talking with the other kids, but by the time we got to math, he'd have his head down on his desk. The first few times I woke him up gently, figured he was staying up too late, typical 8-year-old stuff, video games or YouTube or whatever kids were into, but it kept happening, every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. His work started slipping too. Marcus had been a solid B student in 2nd grade according to his file, good at reading, decent at math, participated in class, but now he was turning in half-finished assignments or not turning in anything at all. During independent work time, he'd just sit there staring at his paper, not writing anything. I pulled him aside after class one day in early October. Marcus, what's going on? You keep falling asleep and you're not doing your work. Are you feeling okay? He looked at me with these tired eyes, dark circles underneath like he hadn't slept in weeks. I can't sleep at night, Miss Johnson. Why not? Bad guys are after me. I tried not to react. Kids say stuff like this sometimes. They have nightmares. They watch scary movies they shouldn't be watching. Their imaginations run wild. What bad guys, honey? The ones who got Devin. Who's Devin? My best friend. I made a note to call his mom that evening. This sounded like anxiety or maybe something he'd seen on TV that was scaring him, but I wanted to touch base with his family, see if everything was okay at home. I called that night around 6. Marcus's mom, Angela, answered on the 4th ring. She sounded exhausted. Hi, this is Jennifer Johnson, Marcus's teacher. I wanted to talk to you about some concerns I have. He's been falling asleep in class, and he told me today that bad guys are after him. There was a long silence on the other end. Then I heard her take a shaky breath. Miss Johnson, did Marcus tell you about Devin? He mentioned Devin was his best friend. Is Devin another student? Another long pause. Devin was his best friend. Devin Carter. They lived in the same building, went to the same daycare since they were babies. They were like brothers. Was? Devin was shot and killed in August. Marcus was with him when it happened. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. What? Angela's voice cracked. They were playing outside our building. Just being kids, you know? There was a drive-by, gang stuff, retaliation for something, I don't even know. Devin got hit. Marcus was standing right next to him. He watched Devin die on the sidewalk before the ambulance got there. I sat down heavily in my kitchen chair. Oh my God. Angela, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. The school knows. I told the office when I registered him. I thought they would have told his teachers. They hadn't. There was nothing in his file, nothing in the notes passed from his 2nd grade teacher. Just a regular kid with regular grades, and now suddenly he's falling asleep and not doing work, and nobody thought to mention that he'd witnessed his best friend's murder 6 weeks ago. Marcus thinks they're coming for him next, Angela continued. He won't sleep at night. He thinks if he falls asleep, someone will break in and shoot him. I've tried everything. Night lights, sleeping in my room, leaving the TV on. Nothing works. He's up until 3 or 4 in the morning, and then he has to get up for school at 7. Have you been able to get him any help? Therapy? She laughed, but it was bitter. Miss Johnson, I work at Walmart. I don't have insurance that covers mental health. The school counselor sees him once a week for 30 minutes. That's all we got. I felt helpless. I'll talk to the counselor, see if we can increase his sessions, and I'll work with Marcus in class. Give him some grace on the assignments. We're actually sending him to live with his grandparents in Alabama. My mom and stepdad. They're retired. They can watch him better. Keep him safe. We're leaving next month. Marcus lasted 3 more weeks at Washington Elementary. He continued falling asleep, continued not doing his work. I stopped waking him up. I figured if he could get 30 minutes of sleep during math, that was 30 minutes more than he was getting at night. The school counselor, Mrs. Patterson, told me she'd been working with him, but he barely talked during their sessions. Just sat there, shut down. She'd tried play therapy, art therapy, just sitting in silence with him. Nothing broke through. His last day was October 28th. Angela came to pick him up early. She'd already cleared out his desk the night before so there wouldn't be a scene. Marcus gave me a hug on his way out. He didn't say goodbye to any of the other kids. Most of them didn't even know he was leaving. I watched them walk down the hallway toward the exit. Angela had her hand on Marcus's shoulder. He had his backpack on, hanging off his small frame. 8 years old and already carrying more trauma than most adults will experience in a lifetime. I never heard what happened to him after that, whether Alabama helped, whether he was able to sleep, whether he ever felt safe again. I taught for another 12 years before I retired, had hundreds of students pass through my classroom, but I still think about Marcus Williams sometimes, about how he tried to tell me bad guys were after him and I thought it was just a kid's imagination, about how sometimes the truth is so much worse than any rumor could ever be.